everybody, welcome to the Black Sheep Props channel. I'm Steve and I'm here to teach you the tips, tools, techniques, and materials for building your very own super cool EVA foam props. Now in our last build we went anime when we built the Flying Thunder God Kunai from Naruto. If you missed that build, we're going to include the link in the description below to our channel's homepage so you can go over there and check out Kunai or any of the other cool builds there. But for this build, we're going to go video games. So without further ado, Black Sheep Props would like to introduce you to the newest member of the family. What the heck? Look at that wrecked paint job. Alright, now this is an odd episode, okay, because this is the Splash-o-matic from Splatoon. Radical! The coolest build. This build is so jammin', so radical, and then we experimented with a paint we weren't familiar with and we wrecked it after we built it. It melted the Plasta dip, it's not fixable. Well, it is, but it would take a ton of work. So we're gonna post this anyway. We're gonna show you the whole build because it's radical, and then you can paint it however you want, and you'll actually see us mess up the paint. In this episode, making an EVA Foam Splash-o-matic Part 1, we're going to begin going step by step through the awesome build of this thing. And we have a template for this too, so if you want to get your very own set of plans, build your Splash-o-matic and paint it the way you want, we'll include the link in the description below to our storefront also, so you can go over there and pick up a template if you want. Like I said, the build is jamming, so if you're ready to hit it, let's make something. Alright, we're going to start with the central body piece, and we're going to do a 36mm foam dowel, and we're going to wrap it with two different pieces of foam, okay, and they're going to both be 6mm. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this 36mm over to the bandsaw and we're going to knock it off, and then we're going to cut these two pieces out. Five and a quarter inches, okay? Let's see, let's measure our 5 1/4. Cut a slight bevel on the end of your wrap. So instead of the knife being straight up like this, we're gonna tip it just a little bit, just a little, to get a slight bevel cut. All right, now we have a slight bevel here and a slight bevel here. So when it comes around, it makes good contact. Now you know the drill. Every time we build, give both pieces time to dry and then the cement will make contact. All right, there we go. Now we're going to begin rolling. And we're gonna, all right. Okay, this one. Get our seam together just like that. Oh, is that beautiful? Look at that, man. That's what happens when you measure twice and you cut that slight bevel. You get that perfect seam right there. And then you push down right here to the surface. There we go. That is seamless. Now we're going to flip around and just walk right down this side, doing the same thing. All right, now we're going to make good contact all the way down our seam. There we go. Okay, what we did is we did a test wrap. All right, we had our wrap figured that it would be this long to these outside marks, but it's shorter. So we made our adjustment, and now we're going to cut it off there and we're going to wrap it. All right, we're going to cut a slight bevel cut. Just like that. Mighty nice. All right, let's make some marks first. Line this up with the edge of our piece. Okay. Beautiful. Beautiful. Now how are we looking here? Oh, we're looking sweet. All right. pinch our seam together just like that, just like we did before. All right, there we go. Beautiful. That is so smooth you can't even feel it. Nice. All right, now we're going to go over to the bandsaw and we're going to knock this end off just so we have a flush end right there. All right, look at that. Clean. That is a tight wrap. All right. All right, there we go. Beautiful. Look at that soft edge around there. Real. All right, now we're going to do the next piece, the back end, and we're going to... Beautiful. All right, now let's go over to the bandsaw. Let's cut the ends off so they're nice and clean. Sweet. All right, now we're going to shape this piece. Okay, here we go. We've made our marks. We've got the inner mark on both ends. We've got the circle marked on both ends. Now we're going to be coming in with our Dremel and we're going to be tapering these. All right, so what we can do to get ourselves started, like you've seen us do before, is we can come in. We're going to take our time, be very careful. Saw back and forth. We're going to cut off the bulk of this with the knife. Okay, that'll help us have a lot less dremeling to do. All right, that's super rough, but we took a lot of it off, okay? This side is not so much. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to come in with our super rough Dremel bit and we're going to clean this up and then we're going to smooth it out. We've got our dust mask on. We got most of it cleaned off. All right, now let's remove that bit. All right, let's put our smooth bit on. There we go. Now let's clean it up. All right, look at that. That's clean, man. Nice taper right there. All right, there we go. Slight little bevel at the front. Wow, look at that. Nice. All right, now we're going to come in with our 220 sanding stick and we're going to try to smooth this out just a little bit. We already got it pretty darn smooth, but we're just going to add to that with our sanding stick. That's really smooth. Now let's come in with our 320. All right, now we've got a little bit of a tricky deal we're going to do here, all right? See these marks right here? We're going to make 1, 2, 3, 4 cuts. All right, we're going to slice all these off on the bandsaw. All right, here we go. This is kind of scary. All right, we're going to line our Sharpie marks up. All right, see that right there? What we did is we cut these all apart. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, and we're going to slightly round the edges off, okay? Look at that look. All right, see that? It's going to have a nice round over. All right, now we're going to come in and we're going to do the next piece. And we're going to just do that to all of our pieces. Super cool. Looks like some separate rings in there. Nice. All right, now we're going to glue it all together. We just sliced them apart. We rounded the edges, and then when you put it back together, it's got this cool little ringed looking detail on the back. Let's get our heat gun out and let's seal this up. All right, right, now we're going to begin the handle part of this. We've got an 18mm base, and we're going to be taking 2 mirror images of the same shape out of 3mm foam. We're going to cut them out and stick them to both sides of this 18mm. All right? All right, we cut this out on the bandsaw. We've got our mark made. We're going to just like that. All right, there we go. All right, there we go. You got it on both sides. All right, now we're going to be coming in. We're going to transfer our line that we're going to be cutting on. All right, there we go. All right, there we go. Check it out. Look at that nice little step down on both sides. Wow. That's why. All right, we have a Forstner bit in here. All right, there we go. Now we've got a hole we can feed our blade through and cut it out. All right, there we go. We drilled a hole through our piece with a Forstner bit so we could feed the scroll saw blade through there, and we cut it out. Really nice. All right. All right, we're going to come in with our 2 handle pieces. 2 6mm, we're going to cut them out with an X-Acto knife, and then we're going to round off the edge with a Dremel. All right, there we go. All right, now let's do the same thing to this side. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to have to really wrestle this, okay? We're going to come in, we're going to line up the front edge. We're going to keep the back lifted up. Okay, we're going to follow our edge on this front side so that we're perfectly lined up. Okay, and we are. Perfect. All right, now we're going to come around this side and we're going to line up our bottom edge all the way around with our piece. Okay, we're wrestling it into place. We're flushing it along the back edge here. All right, there we go. All right, see that? Perfect right here. Perfect along the bottom, perfect around the back, and now we can just press that down. All right. Like we always say, don't just drop it down. You gotta muscle it in place to get it. All right, there we go. We've got our shaped grip on both sides of the handle. Nice. Okay, here's our trigger made up of an 8mm piece of foam. All right, there we go. Look at that. Perfect. We're going to round off our trigger. We're going to soften the edge a little bit. All right, we soften the edge of our trigger with the Dremel. Now we're going to heat seal it, tighten it up. Sweet. Look at that, man. Nice. All right. Okay, now we're going to come in with this little detail that's going to go on both sides of this piece, right? It's going to all be made up of 3mm foam. Okay, now what we're going to do first is we're going to do wood burned lines on our piece. And we're going to go up to our dot, and then we're going to stop by backing up real fast. Okay, you've seen us do this before. All right, we go through, and then when we get to the dot, we're going to back up real fast. Right there. Just like that. All right. When we get to the dot, we're going to back up so that we have a nice clean end to the line. All right. All right. Simple, simple. Now we're going to come in and we're going to cut these two pieces out to stick on top of here. And we're going to trace where our cut is going to be made. All right, there we go, just like that. That's what we want. Now we've got that cool little step down right there. Perfect. All right, let's finish that one. Now what we're going to do first is, let's see, we're going to slightly soften that top edge. All right, there we go. Nice soft edge. All right, now we're going to come in with this 4mm piece of foam and our brass tube, and we are going to poke out 2 holes. Perfect. Perfectly rounded off, and now we're going to do one more thing to it. All right, we're going to heat seal it. Okay, now this is going to fit right on there like that. It's going to be this perfect little screw head. But what we want to do first is we're going to come in with our wood burner. Just like super glue. Set it down. Check it out. We rounded it off with the Dremel, and then we created our screw line with our wood burner. Sweet. So we're going to do a bunch more of those for back here on the handle, right up here, and then on the 3 on that side. All right, dig that. There's all 3 screw heads on that side and that side. Real simple and really cool looking. All right, there we go. Soft edge around the bottom here and around this part of the body. That's swell looking. Wow. All right, now we're going to do another piece for our barrel. And we're going to take a 36mm and a 24mm, which all right, because it's so thick, we're going to take this over to the scroll saw and we're going to rip it out. Beautiful. All right, we're going to cut an angle on this side and an angle on this side. All right, now cut this angle off. All right, now we know this angle right here is the angle we want to tilt our table on the bandsaw. Now what we're going to do is this is going to attach to here, but we don't want it attaching like that. We want it on here like this. So now we're going to make the same cut on this piece right here so that these connect together. So we're going to use the same tilt on the table to cut this piece. All right, there we go. There's our angled cut, and our piece is going to come in just like that. All right. and we're going to come in with our triangle so we know we have a perfect vertical line. Oops, I messed up. Let's do that again. All right, if this is where our line is, then what we want is this. We want the line to go from here to here. Okay, so that we're going straight through the middle horizontally like that. All right, what we're going to do now is we're going to Dremel the edges of this to make them softer. All right, there we go. Rounded edges, nice and smooth. All right, now we've got our wood burner. Let's make sure it's heated up. All right, now we're going to come in with our Dremel. That is cool. All right, we've got our groove in there and our little super cool rivet mark. So when we bring this in and we attach it, look at that. Right there. And now we're gonna come around to this side and make sure we're centered inside of our mark. And we are. Our groove is parallel with our body. We've got our cool little rivet marks on there. Man, this thing is really starting to come together. Okay, now what we've got here is a little fix we have to make, all right? Because this angle, the angle of this cut right here is supposed to match the angle of this piece, and it doesn't right now. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a mark. We're going to make another cut on this piece so that it fits together perfectly. All right. All right, there we go. We made our adjustment. Let's try it. Perfect like a glove. All right, now what we're going to do is where we cut it here, we're going to re-round this edge so it matches. Okay, now what we have to do is back here at this base, okay, we've got a flat base right here attaching to a round tube. So we could either cut a piece off of here to flatten it, which might be difficult, or we could take this back area and we could shape it out, okay? We can do that two ways. We can go just like this through our space. Come out the other side, just like that. All right, now look what we did. We just cut a curve right here. Here and here. Oh man, that is tight. All right. All right, we've got our marks. Now what we could do is we could do the same thing up here. Beautiful. Line up with our mark there. And right in there. Right there. There it is. Okay, now we're going to begin doing the dial, the big dial that's going to sit on the top. We're going to have a 24mm base, and we're going to do two 6mm pieces to attach to both sides. All right, there we go. Now we're just going to do the next one, and then we're going to cut the squares out. Now we're going to transfer our square over to our base. Okay, now before we stick this down, we're going to soften up the inside of both of these. All right, there we go. Softened inside edge on both. All right. right on the edge. Line up our Sharpie marks right there. Look at that. That's it. Okay, there we go. We cut out our window, stuck it down on our 24mm base, and we cut the whole thing out. Now we got this nice little recessed front for our dial. All right, now we're going to do the other side. And the reason we didn't attach this and cut it at one time is it's almost impossible to exactly line it up, and we wanted the thickness of our rim to be consistent. So we're going to hand do this side. All right. There we go, just like that. And now we know we've got the perfect circle to go on this side. We're going to Dremel this edge soft first. All right, that's smooth. Now we're going to come in and cut this circle out next. All right, there we go. Perfect. We're going to try to keep it lifted up. And we're going to go carefully around the edge. That is really nice. That's the dial for the top of our Splash-o-matic. Check that out, man. Okay, now we've got these two 18mm pieces that are going to connect to this. All right, there we go. Now we've got this piece coming in on this side, and we're going to have this piece coming in on this side, just like that. All right. All right, now where it's going to get sticky is this, okay? This has got to attach to here, and this is going to attach to here, which means we're going to have to cut out of this tube to fit this in there, or we're going to have to cut a round cut out of here so it fits on there. All right, so we're going to do the cutting on here. That way if we mess this up, all we got to do is rebuild this and not that. All right. All right, here we go. We're going to take our super rough bit, and we're going to try to do a scoop cut. All right. All right, there we go. We roughly shaped it out. Let's do a quick test. Ooh, wow. Holy. Let's get our smooth bit back in. We probably need to cut a tiny bit off of that top end like that. All right, there we go. Now we did a little. All right, there we go. Wow. All right, there we go. Perfectly centered in the middle. All right, there's our dial. Wow. Okay, now what we're going to be able to do is we drew a circle that's the same size as our dial. We're going to lay it over it just like that, right in the exact spot. Mark where the bottom line goes, right there like that. Just like that. Let's try it again. All right, that looks pretty good. Let's draw the front side, just like that. All right, now we know that piece is going to fit perfectly in there. So let's go to the scroll saw and hit it. All right, there we go. Now that fits in there perfect. But what we want to do is we want to curve out the inside of this, okay? Because it's going to sit on a round surface. So we slide it in. That's pretty close. Let's clean it up. All right. Now you know what we've always said before about super glue is with super glue you have time to play before you have to really make sure that stuff is stuck down. So we're going to smooth it out. It's super wet. That means we can slide it in. We're going to center it just like that. Perfect. Look at that, man. All right. All right, right, there you go. Super cool build. Super cool. God, I hate holding this thing up because the paint job is like so disgusting. But super cool build so far. You saw us get the whole handle bottom assembly done. You saw us do the whole, big portion of the barrel here, and we started to assemble our guile on top. And as always, super easy, super doable. So that concludes making an EVA Foam Splash-o-matic Part 1. Hope you liked it. If you did, give us a like, share us with a friend, and subscribe to this channel. And together we're going to go step by step through a lot more super cool builds so that you get the props you deserve. Thanks for coming. See you next time.